Hey guys, ThatOrganicMom here, and today I want to talk to you about something that I feel like as a society we need to bring more awareness to. And I don't want you to think that this is something that I have always been aware of, because of the fact that in the last few years I myself have suffered from a chronic illness. I have become more aware of this thing that happens. So I want to take some time to bring awareness about this subject. And if you see me looking at my laptop, it's because I kind of wrote a blog post about it for my website, ThatOrganicMom.com, but I decided that it was something that I would rather just talk about rather than write about. So I have my notes here, and I just want to share a little bit of what I have written down with you guys. So one of the things I thought about, and this has happened to me before, so I'm not trying to give anyone a guilt trip when I talk about this, but sometimes, for example, have you ever been at a grocery store, supermarket, or wherever, a shopping center, and you see someone pull up and park in the handicap parking space, and then you watch that person get out of their vehicle and walk into the store, and it seems like, wow, they don't look like they're handicapped. And do they really? And you might even walk around the front of their car, or like do a double take to see if they have a handicap sticker or a handicap tag, because they just don't look like they should be parking there. I admit I've done that before, and what I think that we need to realize is that someone who's parking in a handicap spot may be using all of the energy that they have just to walk from their car inside the store to get one of the motorized carts so that they can do their shopping or just get a few things that they need. You can't see that. They look okay on the outside. So just because you can't see what's wrong with the person, for example, if someone had a car accident and they broke their arm or their leg, you could easily see that, and then you probably wouldn't judge that person for needing to park in a handicap place. Unfortunately, a lot of times people judge other people based on what they can see. Many people wonder why these people don't show up for work, or why they call in sick, or why they're not pulling their share of the load. And what they don't know is the person might be suffering from something, that they're not sharing with you. And a lot of times people don't want to share because it's painful to talk about it, or talking about it makes it feel worse, or it makes it more real. Believe me, when you're sick or when you're exhausted and tired beyond words, the last thing you want to do is tell somebody all about it. When someone asks, "So how are you today?" you have a choice. You can either tell the truth, which isn't really that fun and can be really awkward, or you can lie. "Oh, I'm fine, how are you?" So those are the two options, and both options are kind of frustrating for a person who's suffering with a chronic illness. So let's just imagine that you have a common cold, or you have the flu. Let's just say that you have an illness that causes you to have to go to bed for 5 or 6 days. And the first day you're just kind of sleeping it off. The second day you're a little better, but you're still really tired, and there's no possible way you're going to work. There's no way you're getting out of bed, but you just rest and maybe you watch TV. After about the 4th or the 5th day, you're still not feeling that great, but mentally you're starting to want to get back to life. Well, imagine that, only it never ends. Just because a person with a chronic illness can get out of bed today and go meet you for lunch, or they get out of bed today and they go run errands, doesn't mean that tomorrow they're going to be able to do those things. So a lot of times people with chronic illnesses just start to become antisocial, and they don't want to make a promise to go do something with a friend because they're not sure if they'll be able to follow through. And then a lot of times they don't follow through, and other people are upset with them. So if you have a friend or relative with a chronic illness and you do make plans with them and they have to cancel at last minute, please try to be understanding and forgiving, and whatever you do, do not make that person feel guilty, because guilt is a destroyer of health. Guilt and stress are two of the worst things for your health. So a lot of people with a perfectionist personality don't like to be late. They don't like to cancel last minute, and they don't like to not show up for things. So even though you might be thinking that this person seems unreliable, just keep in mind that this chronic person, they can't always even count on themselves, and that's frustrating, and it really does start to lead to like the blues and some depression even. Some people with chronic illnesses start to experience sensitivities. So things like, crashing sounds, or just dropping keys, or for example, sitting down on the couch next to someone just with a lot of, sometimes like with my kids, I say, sit down like a leaf falling from the trees instead of sitting down like an elephant falling out of a tree. So, kids just run and they sit down on the couch with all their might and just plop down on it. And for a chronically ill person, that just might be way too much overload. So try to take into consideration that someone who's chronically ill, or someone, who's really sick, who's been sick for a while, or they're just fatigued, they have these sensitivities, and it's really hard to just be around people sometimes. I know that the average person does not like to wait in line, but for someone who's chronically ill, waiting in line, whether it's at the grocery store or the doctor's office or the post office or just anywhere, waiting in line can be absolutely excruciating. Just standing in place for that period of time, you're not sure how long you can stand there. Part of the problem is mentally, that you're running out of energy and you only have a certain amount of energy, and standing there is wasting this precious energy that you have. So waiting can really wear down the patience of a chronically ill person so much faster than just an average healthy person. So it's important to keep in mind that just because someone might look healthy, that doesn't necessarily mean that they are. That person, for all you know, they could barely be coping with life. If your friend is not feeling well, if they have chronic fatigue, or they have adrenal fatigue, or any of the other invisible illnesses, and you just offer your opinion, if you would only this or that, or you should try my doctor, she does this, or you should get a different doctor, or you should get a second opinion. All of those are great suggestions. It is important to lend that helping hand, but just be cautious, because sometimes those suggestions can be hurtful, and sometimes they can cause more harm than good. So I know that deep down, we all really just want to help when someone isn't feeling well. If you suggest that a chronically ill person just snaps out of it late, that's just a reminder to the chronically ill person that they're just being antisocial. So I hope that I have helped in some way to shed some light on an issue that we all need to be more aware of, myself included. Like I said, before I had to deal with fatigue and exhaustion, I had no idea what it was like to be in that person's shoes. And I'm not even sure that, if someone had told me what I'm telling you now, that it would have helped me. But just, try to take some of these things into consideration. Just keep in mind that all illnesses are not visible. So just because someone looks good doesn't mean they feel good. So if you have any other suggestions for how to help someone who is suffering with a chronic illness, or if you are someone who's suffering with a chronic illness and you just want some encouragement, or you just need someone to help give you hope again, just click down there where it says show more, and I'll leave a link to a Facebook group that my friend Jamie and I have. It's called Hopelively, and it's just a group where women can go and talk about, what's going on in their lives. And it's just a place where we try to offer encouragement and hope to other women who are suffering through chronic illness or have a loved one who is suffering with something and they just need help getting through it, and they need someone to give them hope. So if you'd like to join our group, the link will be in the description box below. If you've enjoyed this video, I know this is kind of a heavy subject, and I promise to talk about something super happy soon, but I just felt like this was something that I needed to bring awareness to. If you did enjoy this video, if it helped you in any way, please give it a thumbs up. And while you're here, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, because usually I talk about a lot of things that are a lot more fun, like healthy foods and taking one-tank road trips and stuff like that. So if you're not already subscribed to my channel, go ahead and click the red button that says subscribe so that you can get notifications when I upload videos in the future. And thank you so much for watching, and now go out there and do something nice and wonderful for someone who needs your love today.